Good morning. My research question is, do blockchain stocks exhibit more hoarding behavior than traditional stocks? Hoarding behavior is a concept in behavioral economics wherein stock investors simply follow the crowd and hype instead of relying on their own analysis of the stock's financial performance. The investors are essentially being irrational in their decision making. I hypothesized that stocks of blockchain companies would see more hoarding behavior than stocks in traditional industries like automotive for three main reasons. Firstly, I believe that social media would play a major role in driving hoarding behavior in blockchain stocks. This is because the cryptocurrency world, which is closely linked to blockchain, is heavily influenced by social media. Elon Musk's crypto tweets are a prime example of this. Secondly, there is a general lack of financial knowledge regarding cryptocurrency related spheres like blockchain. A 2019 Bank of Canada survey revealed that 1 in 5 Bitcoin owners were found to have low knowledge of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Such a lack of general awareness could force investors to rely on hoarding behavior rather than rational thinking. Lastly, making rational decisions requires sufficient financial knowledge on individual stock performance. However, there is an absence of traditional stock valuation metrics like price earning, price to book ratio, and return on equity because blockchain firms have intangible assets, which makes calculating their values difficult. For the purpose of my research paper, I use the automotive industry as a representative of traditional stock industries in general. I took an industry sample of 20 stocks each for the blockchain and automotive industries. To study this question, 3 quantitative data analyses were conducted on both industry samples. The primary study uses cross-sectional absolute deviation, abbreviated as CSAD, to find which is the academic standard for measuring hoarding behavior. In simple words, CSAD uses daily stock data to measure the deviation of individual stock price returns from the industry average. Lower deviation indicates less differentiated stock returns, which suggests that there's higher hoarding behavior in that industry. As you will see later, a positive and significant coefficient for B1 indicates prevalence of rational pricing mechanisms, while a negative coefficient indicates hoarding. I conducted two more supporting studies using the stock prices of each firm in an industry sample. I constructed a correlation matrix. It studies the correlation between stock prices of each firm in a sample with the stock prices of the other 19 firms in that same sample. This essentially showed me how closely related were the stock price movements of the firms in a particular industry. Therefore, a higher correlation between the stock prices of the firms indicates that stock price movements are more closely related in that industry, thus suggesting that hoarding behavior is likely more prominent in that particular industry. Lastly, since social media is a major factor that drives hoarding, I took the number of Google searches for industry-specific words as a representative of social media hype and interest over time. For example, some blockchain industry keywords were blockchain and Bitcoin, and some automotive keywords were motors and automotive. The monthly number of Google searches for such industry-specific terms were compared to monthly stock returns of firms in the respective industry samples. A higher industry correlation coefficient suggests that stock prices are more heavily influenced by social media-induced hoarding behavior in that industry. In the CSAD study, the blockchain industry stocks had a coefficient of negative 2.7, indicating significant hoarding behavior. Automotive, on the other hand, had almost a 7 coefficient, portraying rational behavior. The stock price correlation matrix study showed that the average correlation between any two firms in the blockchain sample was 53.5%. This was significantly higher than the automotive coefficient, which was 33.7%. Therefore, this indicates that stock price movements are more closely related in blockchain stocks, thus suggesting hoarding. In the study using the Google searches, the correlation between with the blockchain sample was 19%, significantly higher than automotive's negative 9%. Blockchain's positive correlation with the number of Google searches indicates that social media-induced behavior does play an important role in the blockchain industry, unlike the automotive stocks. As we have seen, all three studies suggest that there is more hoarding behavior in blockchain stocks as compared to automotive stocks, which were representative of traditional stock industries. Blockchain is an emerging stock industry that clearly functions quite differently from the others. I hope my paper can stimulate further research into this exciting industry. Thank you.